So you wake up, you work all day, push on your side hustle, and somehow it still feels like you're losing the race against time. You've tried morning routines, productivity hacks, even 10-step systems, but every night you still feel behind. And if that doesn't change, years will pass while you're stuck grinding, missing time with the people you care about, and wondering if your dream will ever feel freeing instead of heavy. So in this video, you'll see how the ideas from the 4,000 weeks can help you stop racing the clock and start living in a way that feels abundant and sustainable. So you can build your business, care for your people, and finally feel like life is yours without burning out or feeling like time is slipping away. Lesson 1, fixed volume productivity. Do you ever feel like every area of your life is demanding attention all at once? Work, side hustle, relationships, fitness. How are you supposed to keep up with all of it without crashing? So most weeks for me looked the same. Mornings editing client videos, afternoons crammed with design work, a planning call for the channel, a late workout, time with my people, then back to editing at midnight. On paper, it seemed productive, but by Friday, I was wiped. Nothing felt finished, and it always felt like I was one task away from something breaking. Trying to do everything every day drains you. Nothing gets full energy. Progress feels scattered, and even the wins feel hollow because there's always something left hanging. Without a hard limit, new obligations sneak in before you've cleared old ones. So a friend asks for help, a new opportunity pops up, another task that can't wait. And suddenly, you're not running your life, it's running you. One concept from the 4,000 weeks broke that cycle. It's called the fixed volume productivity, where you cap how many active tasks you'll carry and then only add one new one when something gets done. It feels so restrictive at first, but it forces you to focus on what matters right now instead of cramming until nothing fits. Now, I hold a simple rule. 3 priorities total. 1 for work, 1 for my people, and 1 for myself. This week that looks like making 2 videos for this channel, putting a hard stop for series night with my fiance, and 3 gym sessions, Everything else either gets scheduled for later or dropped entirely. It feels calmer, and for the first time, my progress doesn't feel scattered. The fastest way to stop feeling scattered is to cap how many tasks you can hold at once, and only add something new when you've cleared something off. Lesson 2, serializing your commitments. Why do so many ambitious people usually end up stuck juggling 5 projects at once, but finishing none of them? Last year, I remember being buried in so many projects. I was trying to relaunch this channel, I was building my studio, I was saving for my family, I was juggling freelance, even helping a friend build a brand all at the same time. And every week, I made a little progress here and there on each, but nothing crossed the finish line. And by month 4, I wasn't proud. I was just tired, When you split energy across too many big projects, everything slows down to a crawl. Constantly jumping from editing to writing to planning drains focus so fast. And with no clear limit, everything feels so urgent. You're busy all day, but rarely finishing anything meaningful. One idea changed this: serializing commitments. I only take 1 big project for work and 1 for life. It feels slower, but I'm finally getting to finish the things I start. This year, my work focus is entirely on building this channel. Outside of work, my full attention is on building a grounded life for my family. And by not scattering my energy, I can give 100% to each. And the clarity that brings, man, it's worth more than any checklist ever gave me. Instead of juggling 5 big projects, focus on just 1 for work and 1 for life. So you give 100% and actually finish instead of burning out. Lesson 3, choose what to fail at. What if the guilt from skipped events or a full inbox isn't failure, but proof you're choosing right? Most of us work non-stop and still end up feeling like we are letting everyone down. Yeah, and that guilt doesn't push us forward. It just drains the focus we need for what actually matters to us. Chasing balance across every area leads to mediocre results everywhere. And in 4,000 weeks, Bachman suggests something counterintuitive. Decide in advance what you're going to fail at. Accept that some balls will drop, but choose which ones drop intentionally so that the ones that matter most don't fall. Instead of feeling guilty about every ball you drop, decide in advance which things you can let slide so you can fully succeed at what matters the most this season. Lesson 4, track what's done, not just what's left. So most of us feel like we're always behind, yeah? Even on the days when we barely stop moving. I've had days where I crossed like 10, 20 things off my list, but stared at the 5 still left and felt like I'd wasted my day. And by bedtime, I wasn't proud of what I did. I was fixated on what I hadn't. To-do list focus on what's left, not what's done, which makes progress feel like never enough, you know? And that constant chase kills motivation because there is no closure. And without visible proof of your wins, it's easy to forget how much you're actually accomplishing, yeah? And that lack of perspective is what burns people out, not the actual work itself, but the feeling of endlessly chasing a moving finish line. A small habit from the book fixes this. It's called keeping a done list. At the end of each day, write down everything you got done, big or small. Seeing that progress in black and white shifts your brain from scarcity to abundance, so you can rest without any kind of guilt. So now after work, I'll look at what I ticked off, right? Like scripting 5 minutes of video, answering a client email, or calling a friend that I've been putting off. When I see it on paper, I end the day with perspective instead of pressure. Writing a done list at the end of each day helps you see how much progress you're actually making, yeah? And stops you from feeling behind even when you're basically moving forward. Lesson 5, slow down time. Why does it feel like weeks kind of blur together, even when you're doing everything right? There was a stretch last year where every day felt so identical. Work, gym, eat, sleep. And before I knew it, months had passed and I could barely remember specific moments, even though I was doing everything right. And familiar routines make your brain go on autopilot, you know, which makes time feel like it's this thing that's just speeding by. When life feels like a blur, even your wins don't land. They just fade into the background, making the grind feel endless. Bachman suggests slowing time by noticing the small details, not the crazy grand adventures, the simple ordinary stuff that your brain usually ignores. The way sunlight hits your desk in the morning, the first sip of coffee when the day feels heavy, the way the beat drops in that part of your favorite jam. Nowadays, I'll pause my evening routine for a FaceTime game night with my fiancé. It's a small change, but it stretches the moment, you know. Even an ordinary Tuesday ends up feeling like hours again, not just another blur on the calendar. Paying attention to the tiny details during a conversation, over a meal, during an ordinary day, makes time feel so full again, you know, instead of just rushing by unnoticed. Now that you know how to stop racing the clock, what about staying consistent so that these changes actually stick, yeah? In the next video, I'll share 7 shifts to help you make your biggest comeback yet, starting today. I'll see you there, yeah? Cheers.